Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I may say words on point, straightforward. No jibber jabber, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, what other thing is a revolution? Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off. No nonsense issues, politics, community. A better men for Laredo. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
Back at you in Gloves Off, and today I have a wonderful guest, a candidate for Laredo City Council, Ms. Reyes. How we doing, Ms. Reyes? You doing good?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good.
Kind of
Let's start off. Why do you want to run?
My name is Maria Antonieta Reyes.
Why do you want to run for City Council?
And I want to run because I have been teaching government for the past 8 years at the university level, and the teachings have gotten even more difficult, you know, under this presidency, under the understanding of how the state works, and even under the examples of politics that we have at the local level. And so I have developed this fire in my stomach that says we have to stand up. And we have to do it together. And that is why I am running. I am running to join others into fighting corruption, into creating meaningful change for our community, especially in District 7. But whatever we do is going to transcend the boundaries of district, because the fire that I am feeling in my stomach is not just me. It's happening to a lot of us in our community. We are fed up with absolutely many things that are happening that continue to suppress our voice. They kind of do these systematic practices that don't even let us speak up. And so that is why I am running. I am running to join many of you and hoping that you join me, make this voice louder, and to start making our interest and our priorities be heard, and therefore take center stage in the arena of politics. That's why I'm running.
That's a good enough reason to run, and those are some great stuff. So hopefully it's not breaking up too much. But also, you're a teacher. You said you're a teacher. So you teach where right now?
I don't teach anymore. My last day was May 31st, and we can talk about that another time, but I used to teach in TAMIU.
To teach in TAMIU.
I used to.
Yes, okay. Okay, so right now you're retired, that's per se.
Right now I am unemployed, probably like many of you out there.
Well, yeah, sure, with the crisis that we have now, many people are unemployed and many people will continue being unemployed. And that is something that was not economically fixed as a disaster, if you want to put that. In other words, it wasn't our economy that did it. It was man-made. What I mean by made, politician made. They bullied small businesses to oppression. They bullied them. So they submitted everybody into this kind of law and order that's draconian in nature. It's incredible that people are following that. I had said this when the COVID started. I said, those incumbents that are running in November are going to have a rough time winning because people are going to get up and they're going to voice their opinion election box.
I hope it happens. I hope
And
it
that's
happens.
what's going to happen.
It-
Now, with that being said,
it's a matter of making sure they show up to the ballot. A lot of people may be pissed, but they may not be registered to vote. And a lot of people may be pissed, but they are apathetic and they don't believe that change is possible. So I am hoping to remind people of that. It is possible. So not just talk, not just tell me you're pissed, not just tell me you're fed up with this or that change doesn't happen. Show up to the ballot. That is so important. One of the biggest numbers of voters that we have as possible voters is the young people. And right now they are very loud, but they're also the ones that don't show up to vote. So I can't emphasize enough, you have to show up to vote. So if you're pissed, good, but let that anger channel itself into action. Without action, change cannot take place. But that action is not even possible without the smidge of belief that it can take place through you. So we need to remind Laredoans, we need to remind citizens that they are the most important aspect in our democracy. We are. Our voice, our interest, us voting is only the beginning of nurturing our democracy. Only the beginning. So yeah, let me talk to you about small businesses because I know that that is like an interest of yours. You have been a voice of small businesses in, I think, all of your interviews you've had. So, by the way, I also have to mention to you.
And I'm going to tell you why, because I've had a business. I've always had a business. I've worked for others. I've always had my business. Understand? The school that I have has been on here right now 30 years. We just had an exam 30, but it's physically been here since 80. I was teaching since I was 18. I always taught for myself. I always taught and I worked for myself as per se. Even if I worked somewhere else, it was not really my employment. It was more like I had to do a lot of. I'm an executive, so I had to do a lot of apprenticeships. So I did that because that was my schooling, right? You have to do that to move forward. But what I saw the first week everything closed down, I saw a group of 6 ladies in the parking lot outside my school. 3 of them were in tears because their businesses were closed. They did not know what to have, you know. One of them had just invested enough money that all she had to open up this business, and she went out of business already. They had called the local city council person and were basically their back. She turned her back on a large quantity. So I said to myself, listen, we have to protect the small businesses because the small businesses are what makes the smaller communities of a city grow. I understand being in the front line in a fight. I fought all my life, okay? I understand being in the front in the ring when somebody's trying to take you. So I understand that type of element. Some people, when they go into a fight, never been in a fight before, and they're going to freeze, and they're going to fear factor. And the fear factor, usually they're going to battle. And I think that's what happened with our main government. They backpedaled themselves into fear. They dug themselves in a hole. Now we get out of this hole. Now, they have their own opinions. Granted, it's a threefold crisis here. And I keep telling this to everybody, and I've said since the beginning. One is the virus itself. What are we going to do about it? Okay? Second, how do we restart our economy? And third, how do we stop those that felt the power, that are in office and want to continue power, these little tyrant ways? And guess what? How are we going to stop that? That, to me, is the biggest of the problems. That's what we're seeing now. So it's interesting that we have so many people in certain districts voicing themselves that we need change. We have 10 in the area, right? We have 6 in another area, you know? So people right now are voicing change. We got 5 in another. So it's something that it's bound to happen. Now, how do we get the message out for people to vote? Right now, they're trying to get us, everybody giving us mail-in. I keep telling this people, if you can wear a mask to the grocery store, you can wear a mask to the voting elections. Do not go with the mail-in ballots, because the good people are going to be taken out in the same issues and the same type of element that we had there before. It's going to continue. Remember, now we have people that have taken the power of tyranny. They're not going to want to let go.
Right.
That's what I see. Now, in one of our conversations we had before, you told me that you're a veteran. Explain that, because that's.
Okay.
Were you in the armed service?
I was in the United States Army, but let me go back a little bit to small businesses before we move into me being a veteran, if you don't mind. Because my family,
Sure, go right ahead.
my family owns a security business, and so I know what it's like to be in a family that in terms of community, we all work for betterment, for growth, for economic growth. And so you are right. When someone tells you you have to close, it becomes scary. I think we've lost like 5 warehouses just in the span of, of this pandemic. And losing warehouses means you have to let go of people. And letting go of people when it's a family-oriented business becomes an emotional burden, because now you have in the back of your mind that those people don't have money, don't have food, don't have, that they're struggling themselves. And so then you have to mobilize to form partnerships with organizations in the community in order to be able to sustain those that you cannot do on your own anymore. And so I understand the struggle. I really do believe that we fail at what you have been giving voice to, which is having a conversation with business themselves. We never gave businesses an opportunity to offer solutions that they themselves could have perceived possible in their own businesses. It's like we just impose these, let's close everything, without even considering what kind of side effects that was going to have in the society. So I totally agree with you. It does feel draconian, it does feel authoritative, it does feel, it maybe even has a dictatorship, not only from the federal government down, but at the local level. Things are happening that suppress that even to be more of a possibility. And so it is a recovery that I'm not sure we're gonna be able to accomplish, but this is something I have to point out. The spirit of Laredoans, when it comes to commerce, we always find a way to survive. I don't know if you know much about the history of Laredo, But we survived the Great Depression when many cities did not, because we have creativity when it comes to how we are going to make it happen. So we'll survive this. And what I want to invite people to do is to develop in this crisis the ability to converse with each other, to find out how to help each other better. Because that's, I think, what happened when it came to businesses. All right, now let's go back to me being a veteran.
Go back to you being a veteran.
Yes. I am originally from Mexico. So when I first arrived to the United States, I arrived with a green card a long time ago. So with a green card, and I arrived to Nixon High School. Go Mustangs. So when I arrived to Nixon High School and I was introduced to the ROTC program, that very much inspired my patriotism. I cannot emphasize enough that I discovered this innate sense of service within me, and it gave expression to me joining the military. Because I was a green card holder, I was limited into the works that I could perform in the military. So anything I wanted to do, you know, you have dreams. I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be military intelligence. I wanted to be an officer. All those things you cannot do unless you are a United States citizen. So once I joined the military, one of my goals was to, of course, become a United States citizen, because it would allow me to serve in the way that my passion was driving me. Leadership, being in charge, guiding others, okay? And so I joined the military for that purpose, to serve. And I did it within the limitations that were set to me. And I did it with love. And I did it with all the sacrifices that come along with absolutely any soldier. Some pay more sacrifice than others. I am aware of that. Every Memorial Day, we share stories via phone of people we have lost. I hear stories of people that have survived, because those are painful as well. And through this experience, you learn that missions are important. And when a soldier has a mission, if you've ever met veterans, you know that that becomes the goal to make happen. My mission in this campaign is to fight corruption, is to open the channels for the action that the people want to take. So as a veteran, my experience, my passion, my drive, and my spirit of public service, it's a fire that all you can do is either join me and let's create this community the way that we envision it, the way that we already work for it. And let's just do it together. Let's get rid of the people that are only enriching themselves, that are only serving themselves. Because with that spirit as a veteran, only with the voice now, or the open expression within politics, we can be unstoppable. I mean, you have heard of all the veterans that have opened nonprofit organizations just to be able to defend our country.
Number one, I lost you. But number one, I want to thank you for your service, and I want to thank all veterans for their service, and those serving our country right now. May God bless you. You're serving and you're keeping the freedoms and liberties alive in this great nation, because it is nation number one. And I always say this, our flag waves because of veterans and those that gave life, okay? And that flag waves freedom, and we cannot dismantle that in any form or fashion, okay? And we have to understand that the most beautiful paper document in the world is called the United States Constitution, besides the Bible. So under the Bill of Rights and great paper, we have this great nation of freedom, okay? And we have to prosper and keep alive. And thank you once more for being a veteran, and thank you for all the veterans there. So
No.
And
let me tell you what I tell my students. I have grown into accepting the greatness of my service, because if you ever speak to any soldier, they're going to tell you it was my job. And that is how it feels. It feels to me that it was an expression of myself, and therefore gratitude is not needed. But I am going to share with you what I shared with my students for 8 years. What you do as a citizen becomes a service in itself. You asking questions to candidates is a service to our nation. And you are helping nurture and sustain that democracy that the veterans fought for. And the soldiers, the troops are continue to fight for. So us voting, us debating, having an open conversation becomes a battle in itself, especially in a culture of silence. So you yourself are a veteran in the fight for that democracy. And I'm not trying to diminish service here. I'm just making you aware that everyone can serve in their own way.
And no, you're absolutely correct. And you know, when we started in the pots developed, I wanted to inform those that were lesser informed, because I've seen the oppressive state that we live in, Laredo lives in, and people, it doesn't happen, it happens. They use badges under the color of, it does happen. It does occur. When they tell me those stories, it does. Let me tell you something here that I will bring, and I'm going to bring up all the time. I interviewed 17 people, okay? They all had something in common besides being from the road. They all went registered to take the COVID-19 test. Somewhere along the lines, some said, let's go grab lunch. I'm not going to go to take this. Got cold feet. We'll do it again tomorrow. You know, it's Soil's birthday from the office. We'll take it next day. They forgot to go. One of them had a family member had a car accident. But what they all had in common was they didn't take tests. And yet they received the letter that they were positive of COVID. I told them, there's another thing they have in common. Why don't you come out? We'll interview you all. They said, no, because Laredo, you don't know the way people are here and how they're going to come after me, my job, my family. People are afraid. We live in the United States of America. We live in the great state of Texas. We have a beautiful city, yet people are afraid to stand up and say, this happened to me, because of something that our local governments or somebody is going to bring a threat. They're afraid. Where do we live in? Veteran soldier fighting across seas in different countries to stop that nonsense, and we have it here. One thing I do not understand, Ms. Reyes, is this. Our populace is between 250, 280,000, probably 300,000 if you count all the people that are illegally. Okay? And you have maybe 20 elected officials. Who are the ones that have the power? It's we, the people.
That's right.
And we, the people, have to stand up and say, enough of that. So you're going to tell me you guys have power over 130 people? 230,000 people? You guys are the ones that are me?
Well,
it ain't going to happen. Not anymore.
Not anymore, exactly. There you go. Not anymore. We have come to the realization that we have been educated to be accepting of suppression, of silence. And we are no longer going to accept it. We are going to get up and vote. We are going to get up and debate. We are going to get up and point absolutely every time that you do something wrong, that you keep our money. You were talking to me about that this morning, that you that you do something wrong and that is not in the benefit of the community. You are correct. We are tired, fed up, and we are going to fight it.
And let me tell you this, you talked about debate. I will have a debate amongst everybody, and to the challenges of COVID as Janet. We're going to keep tradition alive. We will do it through them. We will make it happen. I will give everybody, let me put it this way. I'm equal to everybody. The way I am with you, everybody else. So everybody's going to have the same question. I don't like watching debates where all the panel is up on one candidate because they were told to do so because the other candidate is a chosen one. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Understand? Neither with the mutant, that's the way it is. Be equal and on level. And make sure that everybody is treated equally. And that's what we have to get back to. Everyone being treated equal. And if we cannot do that, and if you don't like it, there are plenty of other countries that I guarantee you that will not treat you.
That is true.
So if you don't like the United States and making this country great again, then there's at least 150 countries you can go to. So with that being said, if somebody wants to get in touch with the Reyes, how can they get in touch with you? How can they help you in your campaign if they want to?
My website is www.votemariareyes4 District 7. 7 is also a number, .com. And I've given you my image, and I know you do such a good job of sharing it with everybody. So it's also written on that image as well. You can also find me on Facebook, Maria Antonieta Reyes, and you are welcome to request me as a friend. And I'm also on Twitter, and I'm also on Snapchat. So you can find me anywhere. And most of my students even have my cell phone directly. So ex-students. So yeah, I cannot hide. Ask me questions. Feel free to contact me.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, and whatever you do, if you believe in my cause, if you want to,
no matter, it was a pleasure talking to you. And folks, I repeat this time and time again.
Okay.
Look, research, call candidates, and please do not get swindled into men about go to vote personal.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for standing up once more. Until next time, folks, peace.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.